Hello everyone. Welcome back to Doctor Who and Autism Celebrations. And today I'm joined with Stephen, and we are going to be speaking about Doctor Who, of course. 60th anniversary, Doctor Who in general. And Stephen as part of his own podcast, which he talk a little bit about as well. I think it's called About Time podcast. I think if I'm
That's
right,
right, yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Got a first time there. But yeah, we're gonna be speaking of that. So Stephen, even mind just doing a little introduction of yourself as well.
Okay. Well, I'm Stephen. I'm 31. So I was about 12 when Doctor Who came back in 2005. That's how I got into it. I've been a fan since then. Um, and yeah, my podcast is basically me making my boyfriend watch it because he's never watched it before. Um, he was quite resistant when we started, but he is slowly getting into it.
That is good. It's always good to get someone into Doctor Who, I think.
Yeah,
Um, I'd love not to have watched it before. Watch it all again.
I know. Yeah. It must be very different watching it now though, like when it's like the 2005 series is like 18 years old.
Yeah,
um it's not like contemporary anymore.
yes. Like when you hear about people that have never watched Doctor Who or 2005, you kind of think you're crazy. Like you've been
Yeah,
missing
where
out.
were you under a rock? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because everyone was watching it at that time particularly.
Yeah, it was when Doctor Who was like like you say, loads of people were watching it in
Yeah,
2005.
the shops just full of all the merchandise.
Yeah, hopefully that returns soon.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I go into shop and like B&M or somewhere, and there's only one Doctor Who thing there, so you even have to ask the staff, do you have any in stock? Do you have anything? And yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, as a kid or as a 12-year-old, you go to maybe like Toys R Us, and you have a whole aisle dedicated to Doctor Who,
Mm.
which I think between the 10th Doctor and the 11th Doctor were when the merchandise was up, were doing quite good. But then I think when
Hmm.
we got to the 12th Doctor, we didn't get much, and 13th Doctor as well.
Yeah, I wonder if that's because like I feel like the show's tone was sort of changing then, and I feel like it was less aimed at children as we got into that era. um
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Like now it's more of like but back then it was kind of a children's program, let's say, and now it can be
Yeah, yeah,
anyone can watch it now,
yeah.
no
So I
matter
can't
what
imagine
age.
them making a toy of like, um, I don't know, like the people in Kill the Moon being like children playing like, oh, shall we kill the moon that's an egg and all that?
That was a pretty funny episode. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. It's quite funny at the end when Clara was being very serious.
Hmm.
And Doctor was just thinking it was all a big joke.
Well, yeah, it's quite a controversial episode, isn't it? Because yeah, like people say it's to do with abortion, and but then it's not really clear which way the episode lands on that. And like I think if they were going to do that, they could have done it in some different ways, maybe a bit better than that. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the 12th Doctor's first series, I think. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I actually rewatched the Capaldi era recently for the first time in a long time. And I did enjoy it more than I did when it aired.
yeah,
I think there's a lot actually to like. He's obviously a great actor, and a great doctor.
he
Um,
is.
yeah. And even Clara, when it was airing, I hated Clara and I just wanted her to go. But
Mm.
she's even grown on me a bit.
Yeah, she is good, Clara. It just feels like she's there. Like it's like a bit like Rory, really. They give me the same vibes. They always die and then they always come back.
Oh yeah.
Um, but like I've rewatched a couple of episodes. If I'm bored,
Mm.
I'll watch maybe a Capaldi episode. But I do like the first series. I don't think it was Capaldi's strongest series. I think the last one was. I did
Mm.
quite like the one with Bill, even though what happened to her and everything.
Yeah, no, that was a great series, and it's crazy to think that like we almost didn't get that series because I think they only did it because Chibnall wasn't ready to take over.
Yeah,
Like, and it's definitely the best, yeah, of his run.
yeah. It was good. Like just the
It's
episodes in
like
general.
I feel like in the Moffat era, like he started experimenting more with, rather than this classic sort of setup of having like a doctor, the companion joins them and off they travel, like, and that's it. Like they started to experiment more with like the balance between the companions' real lives and their adventures. But then series 10 was like a return back to like that in a way of like whisk a companion off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it it was, and like I think Clara stayed quite a while.
Mm.
Like she stayed 2 whole seasons and a bit of. She wasn't really in much of Matt Smith's episode, but it feels like longer because she kept dying and
Yeah.
kept bumping into the 11th Doctor. So she was only
Yeah.
in a couple, but I did like the couple that she was in. And then you could say Amy and Rory were in it forever, so you could say that to them as well.
Yes. Yeah, they do stay sometimes a bit longer than you'd like.
Yeah. Um, they normally, really, they tend to do 2 seasons. I think
Mm.
at most a companion. Um, like Rose did two, just with 2 different
Yeah.
doctors.
The thing with like when Russell T Davies was doing his first era, like basically at least one member of the main cast changed every season.
Yeah.
No one, it was never like a series where, whereas when you get to like series 5 into series 6, you've got the same lead cast basically. And that was quite a change, I think.
Yeah, I think. 'Cause it's like any other show. So say if you watch something like The Vampire Diaries, um, you're getting into the last series. The 2 main characters are the same when the first
Mm.
episode ever went out, and you're not going to get that in Doctor Who. Like, say we're on the coming up to the 14th series, um, and you could say we've still got David Tennant from series 4 of series 2, but I guess that's a bit different. But yeah, because they're always changing them. I think it's good though that they change them, but the thing is we get attached and we like them so much, and then we have to let go.
Yeah, yeah. But it's that thing that's built into Doctor Who that just is, it kind of means that it never has to die. Like even if someone revives it in 100 years' time, like it's perfectly possible to do that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it-
Just a shame we won't be here to see it.
yeah. I think when it reaches its 100th anniversary, I think it'll be in our 80, 90, 80s, between 80s and 90s, I think. Uh,
Yeah.
so it could still be. But the thing is, I don't know if people feel like when they get older, but they see like a young doctor coming on their screen, like Shooty Gatler or someone, and they must think, oh, Doctor Who is well changed since
Yeah.
they were
It's like
watching.
people say as they get older, they always say, "Oh, the police are looking younger." Like it's the same thing with the Doctor. Like Ncuti Gat was actually born the same year as me, and that's the youngest the Doctor's been. And it's like, okay, now I'm actually getting old.
Yeah, Shooty Gatwa, like he doesn't look his age. I don't. I think he looks younger
He
than
does, yeah,
31. He looks about maybe 25.
yeah, probably, yeah. I'm
Uh,
very excited to see him though. I've literally just before this recording, I've just finished the last series of Sex Education.
what?
Um,
Yeah,
he's such a strong actor. Like he stands out from everyone else in that show, I think, as just a really like considered actor, and I can't wait to see what he does with the Doctor.
yeah. I can't wait too, and I loved Sex Education as well. Like he's when you look at the acting choice, it is a very different. Like you wouldn't think you're watching Sex Education, you wouldn't think Eric or Shooty
No, yeah,
is going to be the Doctor. From what we see, although it's very
yeah,
good,
yeah.
it's very good, but it's not your Doctor like
No,
you would think.
I was watching it the other day, and my boyfriend Ben, he doesn't watch Sex Education, but he saw like a bit of it, and Eric was on screen being fabulous and camp, and I said, just think that's going to be the Doctor, and he was like, I hope he doesn't play it like that. But that's the thing. I think he is really like he's a really strong actor, and I think he's going to be one of those chameleon actors that can turn his hand to lots of different things.
Yeah.
Um, and I really trust Russell as well, like to pick the best person for the part. Apparently they had someone else who they were like 99% sure they were going to give it to, and then Judy came in and auditioned. They were like, okay, no, it's him.
Uh, I think we're always gonna be curious who that person was.
I know, yeah,
I wonder if Shooty got told or I'm not sure he did because I think he would think, why didn't you put them then? Why did I get the part?
yeah. It must be a strange feeling, like to
Yeah,
think that.
yeah,
And I hope that the person that they were going to cast was never told, because that would be crushing.
yeah. I imagine if they did. Imagine if like Shooter's audition was like later on in the day, and
Yeah.
this other person was earlier on the day and said, "You've got the part. I've got one more to go. Don't
Oh
get
yeah.
your
Well, they
hopes
wouldn't.
up."
Yeah, they wouldn't do that. But no. But you never know. Maybe whoever this person is could be in the running for number 16.
Yeah, it would make life a lot easier for them.
Yeah. Didn't David Tennant audition for the Ninth Doctor as well? I think.
I'm not sure, but I think Ingrid Oliver did actually audition for the 10th Doctor, I think, once.
No, really.
Yeah, like I read it a
Ah,
couple of years ago. She
how
auditioned for it,
interesting.
and she never got it. And she was like, oh, I wanted to be the Doctor. And then years later, she's Osgood. And she
Yeah,
said, at least I'm a Doctor Who, so it doesn't
yeah.
matter.
And Osgood's a great character, like for someone who loves the show,
Yeah,
because you really get to put a lot of that into the character. She's basically like a stand-in for fandom, isn't she, in a way?
yeah. It's like a
Yeah.
very iconic character. Like the whole Osgood kind of storyline, and
Mm.
yeah,
Is she still around? I think she is, isn't she,
yeah. Like
in the show?
I'm not like she was mentioned in like Flux, but she's never seen, and I'm not sure if she's going to be in the 60th because
No.
I imagine that Shirley Ann Bingham looks like to be I might be wrong, but she looks like to be Kate's understudy.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's the one
From
that
what you see,
Ruth, what's her name?
Madly,
Yes, she's playing, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah. I like, of course, in the trailer we see my initial thoughts when we first saw the 14th Doctor talking to someone saying if Donna ever sees me, she'll die. I ultimately thought that was Wilf because
Mm.
they had that conversation, like of course, an end of time.
Mm.
Um, and then when it was Ruth Medley, I'm thinking, hang on a minute, she she's obviously part of units. Maybe she's
Mm.
quite high up in the ranks, but I'd love to see her good though. I would like to see her back in top two again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I remember there was a game that she was part of like a couple of years ago. It was like it was actually a pretty cool game. It was a game where you would like make your own choices. I think
Okay.
I think it was a Weeping Angel one actually. Um,
Oh yeah, I heard. Yeah, I don't
yeah,
remember. I never played it, but yeah,
yeah,
wasn't Larry Nightingale in it?
yeah. He was, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. He
they couldn't afford Kerry Mulligan anymore.
yeah. Like it's amazing when you think about all these actors that like let's say 2005 era, um,
Yeah,
like early years. If you look at them now, most of them are Hollywood stars,
yeah,
which is crazy. I think Doctor Who for a lot of people was their start off point, and maybe being I guess a more known actor.
yeah. I guess because it was at the time it was a very high profile show, but like we were saying, like the cast changes a lot, and like even episode to episode, you're getting a whole new cast of supporting characters. They go through a lot of actors, so I suppose it's only likely that you're going to get some people who are going to go on to do better things, or not better things necessarily, but
Yeah,
bigger things.
yeah. Like you've got Karen Gillan's been a Marvel.
Yeah,
Um, like um Jumanji um
Yes, yes.
as well. Um, and you've got David Tennant's been in it, but basically he's completed. He's completed acting already. He's been in everything.
He's completed acting.
Yeah,
Acting completed, mate.
yeah. Like he's been Marvel. He's been in Star Wars. He might not been in. You might not have seen him, but he just like a voiceover, but still
Okay.
counts.
Yeah.
Um, still counts. So yeah, he's done it all, and even his little roles, if he's not playing a big role, um, he'll if he's not playing a big role, he'll still be very known for that.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's and like
Mm.
Peter Capaldi was in a series of it might have been early this year, or it might have been last year. I can't remember what it's called, but it was on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I think I saw a picture. He had like a spiky face or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Jenna Coleman was. I watched a series of hers called Wilderness,
All right.
um, and that was actually pretty good. Um, she was very good in it, and I remember watching her actually in Waterloo Road. Um, not and during lockdown, I just binge watched it, and I thought,
Okay.
hang on a minute, just Jenna Coleman. Just but yeah, it is good. But you can just imagine how many actors from Shooting Gatwa's first series are going to appear in the second one,
Mm,
because of course Kate Leffler Stewart is going to be in that series. So is she going to be an ongoing thing, or is she just going to appear
yeah.
in that first one?
Yeah, no idea. And like um Ruby Sunday, I don't think we know at the moment like how long she's going to be staying around for.
Yeah.
Um, but presumably she hasn't left yet because I think we would have been told by that about that.
Do you reckon? Did you
Probably.
ever tell us?
But well, apart from anything else, because if they cast a new companion, then it will get leaked. So they would probably want to announce it.
Yeah, and
But
it's crazy.
It's crazy that they're already filming
Yeah,
like his second season. We haven't even had the specials yet. Like they're getting so far ahead.
I'm very curious to see what happens because I think Russell has got a 4 year contract, or like a 4 year contract. So I'm very curious. If Shooter Gatwa is doing this all so early, so
Mm,
he can leave and do other things because
yeah, quite possibly.
he's that popular now.
Yeah,
It's on. I think it's different to any other Doctor because he's already been in Barbie, which is Hollywood.
yeah,
So I don't want to say it, but I fear that he's only going to do 2 seasons, and then they're going to change Doctor already, and then they'll do another two with another Doctor.
yeah. Thing is, two seasons. Like if we're talking back in 2005, like 2 seasons is quite is a decent amount of episodes. But now if they're only doing like 8 episodes a series, it's a lot less like screen time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I loved when we got the 13 episodes.
Yeah,
Um, but if we're talking, if we're including the specials and series 14, that could actually equal up to 13 if they're gonna put
yeah,
that all in one, including the Christmas episode. So, um,
yeah,
but I would like Shooty to stay for the whole for 4
yeah.
seasons, because it gives them enough time to do it. He can that's more than enough episodes.
Mm. I mean, they could because they're kind of pressing on with his second season. That could then give him a nice gap to go and do something else, and then he could still come back for a third one, like because he's got plenty of time if they haven't even aired his first series yet.
Yeah. He must do it. So I reckon he'll do it because I've started now. So that he might do it for maybe a month and a bit, and then start maybe early next year,
Mm,
for a few months, and potentially be done in the summer, for series 15. And I reckon series 14 will air maybe sometimes in the spring.
I think so, yeah.
And then they'll still be continuing series 15 filming. And then that probably won't air to 2025,
Mm,
which is crazy. Um, really. Like I don't know if that's ever been done before, you know. They're recording the new series like 2 years in advance, and we're not even seeing the specials.
yeah, it is crazy.
Um, I know, I know. What was it? That I think it might have been the first. It might have been the one with Captain Jack in it. That Christmas. Not Christmas. The New Year's episode. I think that was filmed like a year in advance.
Okay, yeah.
But I think it's good for them just so they can do other things. So if they wanted to do a spin-off, they can line it up maybe with the series. If
Hmm.
they wanted to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all lines up, the new series with the specials.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's still so much we don't know,
Yeah. Right. While
including
putting
at
on the
time of recording those air dates for the specials.
yeah, it's crazy.
Are
It's
they ever going to air them? Or are they just going to be
yeah.
in a vault somewhere?
No, it doesn't seem that way.
Yeah.
Um, they'd rather tell us about the new series filming in 2 years' time than when we're going to be seeing the new ones. um, but I imagine, I don't know. I imagine we will get something soon.
Yeah.
Um, I I thought maybe the 23rd of October.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was thinking that, but that's been and gone. Yeah.
yeah. But because I didn't know it was the day of the Power of the Doctor, so of course they wanted to focus all their stuff on that.
Mm.
Um, the only other option I can see is Halloween, perhaps.
Oh, maybe.
Um, at the time of recording, Halloween would be been and gone, but release, sorry, not recording. But yeah, I think all the specials are like over an hour, so there's
Mm.
got quite a lot of stuff in there for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So exciting.
Um, I wonder if all the episodes now will be about that because, like, of course, like they've got a bigger budget and there's going to be like 8 episodes in the series, so maybe they'll, depending on the schedule of like the TV, and they might make episodes a bit longer than they used to.
Yeah, I don't know really, like because that would be cool, but also on the other hand, like pacing wise, like maybe some things benefit from being only 45 minutes, you know.
Maybe.
Um, but again, I trust Russell to do what's right. I always remember when Voyage of the Damned aired, and it was like 75 minutes because they couldn't bring themselves to cut anything, and the BBC allowed them to have those like extra 15 minutes, and it was like, wow,
Yeah, I think normally a Christmas special though is longer than a normal episode.
it is, yeah,
Um, like the Christmas special this year is going to be very exciting. We're getting one after so long.
yeah,
Um, and I think that's when we'll get the introduction to Ruby as a character.
yes, I think so, yeah.
Um, I don't think she'll be in the special. I think she'll just be part of next
No,
year.
no, no, she won't.
Be funny if she did though.
Yeah, I mean anything's possible at the moment.
Yeah. Um, but I think what we want now is with Doctor Who, these new or iconic characters that they can create rather than going back like from the last 15, 18 years and bringing
Mm,
them back all the time. Although it's good, I think the 60th is the perfect place to do that
yes.
for the last time. But now create some new iconic characters for the next 18 years, and create some of them because we want new, it's all about bringing new things to life, Doctor Who. So if they keep doing that, I think it'll be great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Um, so for the 60th, was you surprised when David Tennant was coming back?
Yes, yes, I remember the announcement. David Tennant and Catherine Tate were coming back, and I thought it was a joke. Like, I thought it was one of those things. I don't know if you've ever seen on Twitter, sometimes people think it's funny to like change their profile picture and their name to pretend to be the BBC account, and they
Oh
just
yeah.
post and they pretend it's like an announcement. And I thought it was something like that. I thought, oh, okay, pull the other one. And then it was real, and I was like, what? It's the same when Russell T Davies was announced as coming back. I was like, I've like dreamed of that forever. Now it's actually happening.
Dreams
Yeah,
come true.
yeah.
Yeah. It is. I was kind of thinking like that David would come back because Jodie was leaving at an awkward time.
Mm,
Because of the 60th, and I didn't think Shooty would do it. Start his series off from the
mm,
60th. So I thought maybe like someone like David would come back. And in Before the Power of the Doctor aired, I was like, David will regenerate at the end because it makes more sense. It makes more sense than Shooty just turning up. What I did think though might have happened is that they had maybe a glitch regeneration. So maybe
yeah.
Shooty just might have appeared for a second, and then the 14th Doctor would come in
Mm.
straight after that.
That was my theory for a while. I was sort of thinking, oh, the fact that the 10th Doctor's face has come back, it must be some sort of glitch or some sort of scheme or something. But apparently Russell said recently that that's not the case. But then who can trust what he says?
Yeah, he's always a menace.
He's rule one, the showrunner lies.
Yeah, he, that's why the Doctor lies because he made him lie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um
but
but I love the fact that David Tennant and Catherine Tate have come back just because they were like they had so much fun doing series 4, and they were like, oh, wouldn't it be a laugh to come back and do a bit more? And it's like, yes, it would be, and it would be amazing.
yeah, and like Catherine Tate is a like I remember when she was on I think the One show, like it might have been last year, and she was asked I think by Jermaine Genius, um, like he said, "You've been rumored to be in Doctor Who. Is that true?" Um, and like she she was kind of resisting it. She was saying, um, "No, what can I tell you?" But I think it's a really silly question. You know when these reporters ask all these actors like, "Are you going to be in Doctor Who?" Because it's obvious what they're going to say. They can't tell you anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
um,
think people like to see like how they respond to it and see if they think they can like read anything into it.
yeah.
Because do you remember that one with Billie Piper? Not that long ago, someone
Oh,
asked her, and she was like, there was like a hint of like, oh, it would be fun, wouldn't it? And like a wink to the camera. Like she's probably just playing with people, but like, it gives fans another like 6 weeks of discourse to
yeah.
talk about.
She said that she would like to go back, and if Russell did have any room for her in this
Mm,
new era. But I think the only I don't think we might of course she's referenced in the 60th already,
mm.
um by Rose as the Donna's daughter, but as well I think she will. The only I don't know. She might be in it. I think it's very possible that the actor herself might be in it. But I could see at the start of the episode, previously, I don't know, 15 years or 18 years ago, um, where they're on the beach, and they might just show that scene again. Or I know Neil Patrick Harris was taunting roses, so you might get some memory
Oh
flashbacks.
yes.
So maybe that's like taunting the Doctor, because as the Doctor knows, she doesn't know. Well, he doesn't know the Doctor as Rose as Donna's daughter. He knows Rose Tyler, so maybe
Yeah.
because the toy maker, I haven't watched the episodes, but I have read up about him, and he can like go into any reality he wants.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I realized like last week that I hadn't seen because there's only one surviving episode of that story. So I put it on and just watched like it's the last part of that story. Um, and yeah, it's really cool actually, like the way that they discuss at the end how the toy maker can't be destroyed because he can always create a new reality. And they're like, the doctor says like, no, but there will be other meetings in another time. And it's like, well, it's actually happening. It's like 60 years later or whatever.
yeah,
It's
um,
crazy.
it is crazy, and I think like he could easily just hop in and just get anyone he wants, the toy maker, just to taunt the Doctor.
Mm,
And I think like I always say this, we've seen what we've seen because Doctor Who and Russell want us to.
yes,
Um, so these little bits we've seen in the trailers. Um, we can think what we want. Like I don't know, we could think maybe there's going to be half a dozen doctors, half a dozen companions in it if we want. But it's going to be interesting. Like Wild Blue Yonder is going to be. I think as David Tennant actually recently said that it's unlike any other Doctor Who episode there's ever been. Um,
mm,
so I think that's why they're keeping it under wraps because maybe it's not as secretive, but the most awesome. Like probably
yeah,
been I feel they're probably going to bring as many people they can back maybe in that episode.
possibly, yeah. Because there were, I feel like Russell said, like at the time they were filming it, that people were getting excited about seeing like certain people on set, and he was saying, "Oh, you think you've seen people, but there's so many people you haven't seen, or something like that." So
Yes.
so many secrets.
Yeah. Um. I've always wondered this though, but I don't think the titles are the actual titles.
Oh, really? You think they're like fake?
Yeah. I think they're a bit different. So, Wild Blue Yonder, I think it's not the actual title. I think they've just said that. Um.
Okay,
But if it is,
that would be really interesting.
yeah. Because the giggle, there's got to be something on more into that. Like you can't just call an episode the giggle. It's quite bizarre. Um, I'd love to know more
Yeah,
context on why they've named. Like the first one is pretty alright because
yeah,
we know where that's
it-
from.
yeah,
But the other two are just a mystery. Right?
yeah. I think a lot of titles though, without the context, they sound bizarre. Like I remember when Love and Monsters was announced, and people were like, "Okay, that sounds like a strange title. What on earth is that going to be?" And then um, so I think yeah, time will tell.
Yeah. It will definitely tell because I don't know. Do you think that we'll get a regeneration from the 14th Doctor into the 15th, or do you not think they'll do one?
If it's if he genuinely is the 14th and he's genuinely part of the sequence, I think they will because it's tradition and it would be kind of disappointing not to. But then if there's a good reason why not to see it, then also that could be valid as well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard to say.
yeah. Because I think with the 15th Doctor, I think that maybe he's in a realm of the toy makers. Maybe he's stuck somewhere. Um,
Mm,
and that's how the 14th Doctor's ended up here. Now, I do think they will meet the 14 and 15 at some point
hmm
because
hmm
it'll be an opportunity to miss it. Getting those two great actors on screen together would be great. But yeah, I think like we've got a few good dates as well. We've got like something's happening on the 23rd
hmm
of November, so I think they've got something really special for that day. Um, and they've got a documentary, so it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Diamond anniversary, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, do you have like a favorite Doctor at all? Like one you leaned more towards, or do you just like them all?
It's hard. It's hard for me to, well, it's a hard question, but it's also an easy question because if you listen to my podcast, you'll know it's a running joke we have that I'm terrible at picking favorites of anything because I can't commit. I just like I want to say one of them, but no. But if I'm honest, I think it's got to be David Tennant just because of the age that I was when he was the Doctor, and it was my peak of like being obsessed with the show. Um, I also Matt Smith is probably a close second, but I also love Eccleston. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I do think they're all great. I don't think the Doctor has ever once been miscast. I think they're all brilliant.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, certainly the 10th Doctor's era would be the one I gravitate towards.
yeah. That I think it has the most episodes as well.
Mm,
During a Doctor. Um, I think because the Doctor. like if we think it's funny, it's weird to think about because apparently Jodie Whittaker had the longest run as a Doctor, I think, in New Who, but she had the least episodes.
Yeah, yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting because um you wouldn't think that. Um,
No, of course, technically the longest running Doctor is Paul McGann. He was the incumbent Doctor for the longest time, but he only had one on-screen appearance.
yeah,
But that's being if you're being pedantic.
yeah. Paul McGann was great though,
He
I think.
was, yeah, he was robbed.
He was definitely robbed. Because um yeah, because he was he could it would have been great for to do his own series, but of course Doctor Who stopped then.
Mm. I wonder how Day of the Doctor would have been if they'd had Paul McGann in John Hurt's role.
Yeah, like that would have been interesting.
I'm willing to bet that when Christopher Eccleston pulled out, I'm willing to bet they asked Paul McGann because it's the next obvious choice, isn't it? Before you think about trying to shoehorn in another incarnation.
Yeah, they could have done that because like John Hurt, I don't know. I don't know if that was like a last resort. Um,
I think it was from I don't know. Did you listen to the Doctor Who at 60 the concert recently?
yeah, I have listened
And
to that.
when Stephen Moffat was being interviewed on stage for that, he was talking. They were asking him how was it for the being in charge for the 50th, and he said it was terrible because he was like we'd been working on it for weeks and we had no doctors confirmed to be in it. Like um he said we had Jenna Coleman and like she's lovely, but we need doctors.
Yeah, they definitely need
So
doctors.
it must have been a scramble. And like I'm not the biggest fan of Day of the Doctor. It's okay, but I think considering all the troubles he must have had, they pulled something together that was good.
Yeah, I think they wanted to include Paul McGann in some way, so they let him do that little short
Yes.
thing. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, well, I think it is a good time if Paul McGann wants to come back. It would be a good time to bring him back. If it was a spin-off or something, because it still looks the part. It still looks like the Doctor. He still can pull that
Yeah.
off. So and he's the War Doctor, of course. The War Doctor, I guess, can get old. So in the war, so it would be okay.
Mm.
But yeah, I liked watching it, like the Day of the Doctor. But like you, it weren't. It's not my overall favorite episode.
Mm.
Like there was so much hype around it. Yeah, it was good to see David Tennant and Matt Smith. Um, but like two of the Doctors, like you could say three, but John Hurt as the War Doctor, uh, like I don't know. I didn't know how to feel about it at the time because it is very
Mm.
confusing when you're watching that maybe at a young age because you're thinking, wait,
Yeah.
what War Doctor? How does that fit in then? Like what number?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you always focus on the numbers of which
Yeah.
Doctor's which, um,
Yeah.
and then you've got the future of Doctor. We don't know what number she is. So
Yeah.
where's the numbers?
Yeah, I know it's really frustrating. People who like things to be tidy, um, it's been played havoc with a lot. So I
Yeah,
think there comes a point where you just have to let it go and say it is what it is.
yeah. I think at some point I have to maybe scrap the numbers one day. Um,
Yeah,
Could there be too many otherwise?
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think John Hurt was lovely though. I think he was great as a Doctor. He did do
Obviously a
everything.
fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like in that episode he was almost a stand-in for all classic Who. The way he responded to David Tennant and Matt Smith with their sonic screwdrivers. It's like classic Who taking a look at new Who and saying, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, it is great. Um, because like I think originally it was supposed to be the Ninth Doctor, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like Christopher Eccleston was like, I don't do I would do it on my own, but not on
yeah,
on the, which I was thinking about that when he said that back then, because a lot has changed, I think, since then. I guess he's leaned closer towards Doctor Who now than he was back then.
I
Um,
don't know. Because
because
the big finish stuff, like someone at a convention asked him, didn't they? Did you see that? They said, what what's they said about how they've seen him coming back into the Doctor Who world and doing the big finish audios. They said, what was it that started that journey for you? And he just said, money.
yeah, he said that at the convention as well. Like he said,
Yeah,
which it's good to defend to being honest, because I think a lot of the actors do it purely for that, really.
yeah. Thing
Um,
is, I'm not a big Finish fan. I don't get on with audios. And I have tried the Ninth Doctor audios because you have to. If there's more Ninth Doctor content, I want to hear it. But I hate to say it, but it does feel like he's phoning it in. Um, but I find that a lot with audios. Like I feel like when you film something and an actor has to learn their lines and really prepare for the part and everything, that's very different to an audio. They kind of just turn up and they've got the script in front of them and they kind of it just feels a bit half-hearted.
yeah.
That's just me. Um,
I've never actually properly listened to Big Finish at all because
no, I've never got through one from start to finish because I they just yeah, they just and also something about the writing for audio dramas I find really clunky because the storytelling you have to kind of show everything through dialogue and sound effects and stuff. And I just feel like people talk like in a way that's really stilted and they wouldn't in real life. Like they like, oh, here I am sitting here in my office drinking a cup of tea. Like whereas on TV you just show that like
yeah, I wish they could just show these stories on like just do it,
mm,
just actually do it so we can see it because we'd love it. Like they could make this their own, make multiple spin-offs because that's what Big Finish is.
yeah.
It's just doing all these different spin-offs and like you had I think the 10th Doctor taught into I don't know the 12th or something like that. But well,
Mm.
I don't think Peter Capaldi's in with Big Finish, but yeah, they could do all this, you know.
Yeah. I tried the 10th Doctor and Donna ones that they did as well, like a few years ago. Um and again, like I feel like because Russell wasn't involved, it didn't feel the same. The writing, the characters don't feel the same. And I felt that with Nine as well. Um yeah, it's Russell's voice that kind of gives it that core.
Yeah, I think there's so much about what Russell does that makes everyone love it, and I think this time, when he leaves this time, I think it will be a lot different than when he left last time. Because I think the show's in a better way it has been in
Mm,
years. Like it's got Disney Plus with it, and like you can see how much the money and like the budget is doing with the trailers that we've seen, especially the last one.
yeah.
Um, so you can see how cinematic the 60th will be.
Mm. I tell you what I wonder is I I guess you've read the writer's tale, have you?
Yeah,
So I remember from that how really quite an unhappy experience a lot of it was for Russell at the time. A lot of stress. Um, and obviously it is such a big job and a big responsibility. It is going to be stressful. But I wonder if this time round it's just as stressful or if he's found better ways to cope, you know? It
yeah,
must because I think in the time since he left, TV's probably changed quite a lot and
def-
production has changed. So yeah, it'd be interesting if he could if maybe there'll be another writer's tale or something similar for this era.
yeah. I think it's lot has changed. Like and Russell has said it's the hardest thing to write Doctor Who because anything can happen. Um, but I think I trust him because we've seen like we've never seen like things in advance before. They normally just don't tell us. They'll normally just tell us maybe a week or so. Like I remember when the Power of the Doctor, there was nothing the whole year about
Mm,
Doctor Who until maybe like a week or 2 weeks before the actual air date. Like so we knew. So I think that's what a lot of the time Doctor Who does, just to get us waiting, and like they want us to wait. They want us to say, where are these air dates?
Yeah,
When is it going to be on? But I think I think in my opinion, I think the first weekend of November, or the second week of November, is out of bounds now. I think they would have announced it,
you'd
because
think so, wouldn't you? Yeah,
to say we got like Doctor Who and BBC iPlayer the 1st of November,
yeah.
um, you wouldn't put the first special the following week, because say you'd be watching Doctor Who to prepare on the BBC iPlayer the new episode, you would want longer. So I think they kind of lean maybe to the week of the 60th, so like the week of the 23rd. Is what I'm
Possibly.
getting at.
Yeah,
And then maybe they might go into. I don't know. I don't think they will go into December, but if they want to do it weekly, they have to if they do it like that.
yeah. Because yeah, I feel like we've been told ever since we knew there were going to be these three specials, we've been told they will air in November, not they will start in November and go into December.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm still putting my money on the 11th, 11th, 18th, and 25th. That's what I'm hoping for. But because they've got on the 4th, the Saturday the 4th, they've got the Dr. Donathon, um, which makes sense. Like, watch all the Dr. Donna stuff on that Saturday, and then the following Saturday the special start. But yeah,
yeah. It's like, but the first Doctor Who magazine in November is actually a poster for the 60th and saying
hmm
their time has come. So I
yeah,
imagine
yeah,
it will be, but it
yeah.
might, but it might not be as well. Um,
It's probably one of those things that, like, behind closed doors at the BBC, it's like 99.9% confirmed, but they can't officially announce it just because there's that tiny 0.1% that it because they can't announce it and then be like, oh, actually, sorry, it's going to change. So they're just holding it back just until it's absolutely 100% confirmed.
yeah. Um,
But yeah,
do you think when they announce it, they'll just do a post of like the air dates, or do you think they'll do another trailer, like just announcing when these specials will go?
um, I don't know if we need any more trailers now. Like, I don't know. Um, but they know that the amount of hype and the amount like people are gagging to know these dates. So who knows?
Yeah, I imagine it. Yeah,
Maybe they'll do a special video with David Tennant being like, the specials will air on the following dates. And then he'll be like, don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel.
yeah. I bet that's every Doctor's dream when they get to be the Doctor. They just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but I don't know. Like we know it's not going to be on the we know Children in Need is on the 17th, so
Yeah.
they're doing something for that. So I don't know. I think maybe they might wait till after Children in Need unless there's a sketch. Maybe,
Yeah.
but they might do it on the 18th. Um, and then the following 2 weekends. But they might do all another scenario is they just do it on the 3-day cycle, one day after each other. But I don't think they will do that.
I don't think they will, no.
I wouldn't complain, but I think we would all just want time to reflect on each special as they go. I think
Definitely.
it'd be rushed that way. I think if they
Mm.
did that. Um, but I don't know. Part of me thinks the toy maker isn't the only villain going to be in this 60th.
Okay.
And I say that because there's surely some bigger threat. I know the toy maker's a very big threat, but I'm just saying, like, when in the trailer that we saw something's coming through this world with this kind of, I guess, portal. It looks like a portal. And I think that's maybe where loads of other things, maybe from different dimensions, come through. So all this
Yeah.
big war is going on. So I think there's, like they said, there's a lot we haven't seen, but I think
Yeah.
that might be one thing that just loads of different stuff come through.
Yeah. I just hope we don't see any Daleks for a while.
Yeah. Um,
I adore the Daleks, but and I you know I wouldn't be surprised if they show up towards the end of Shooty's first season, but I think that's okay. But as long as they're not in the specials, because yeah,
Yeah, they were in the 50th a little bit, weren't they?
they need to be coming at the right time, I think.
Yeah, I think unless they do a different kind of story around them. Like we see the
Mm,
same story, oh, the Daleks are conquerors of Earth. We need something else. Like that Dalek story was a little bit different for the Ninth Doctor. Something like
mm.
that.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
different. But yeah, I think they will probably be at the end of the series, Shooty's first series.
Mm,
And I think that's when Mel will come in. I don't think Mel will just be at the start. She might.
mm.
She'd probably be part of unit, but yeah, I wouldn't. It's the same with the Cybermen. I don't want to see them for a little while either.
No.
Like I want new monsters or bring back monsters that you ain't seen in ages, like the Toymaker. Um, just create new stuff. I know the Daleks are the most iconic villains in Doctor Who, but we don't have to see them every. We kind of have seen them every series, haven't we? But
Yeah.
we don't have to see them as frequently. Really.
Yeah, I think if you're going to do a story with them, it's got to be for a purpose, like that gets to the heart of what they are, you know?
Hmm.
Um, like all the best Dalek stories are about their kind of what they are, their kind of racial hatred and um their obsession with logic and stuff. And then you get like less satisfactory ones where they're just there because they're Daleks and like people go mad for them, you know. So I think do a story that actually relies on their core purpose, and
Yeah.
do it really well and make it relevant to today. Because obviously hatred is still relevant to this day.
Yes.
So, you know, and
Yeah.
again, I trust Russell pretty much to do the right thing with whatever. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Oh, we definitely will see, and it's a very exciting new era of Doctor Who coming up. Um, and can't wait for the new episodes when we get. But by this time this episode's out, they might have already been out. They might have not been out. Um, um, who knows? Hopefully, but if not, that's fine. Um, we'll just wait. We'll wait and see. But Stephen, before we finish, because it's been good chatting to you about Doctor Who and everything. Um, is there for the 60th? What would you? Is there anything that you would like to see happen, or is there any one that you'd like to be in it that hasn't been announced yet?
Um, that's a tricky question because I have I have quite a major prediction, but it's not. I don't know about if it's something I would like to see, but it's something that I think may happen.
Okay.
Which is that Donna is probably heading towards quite another tragic ending. Um, I wouldn't. I don't know. It's so tricky because it's Russell. Like it's hard to predict. But um, however her character gets the send off this time, it's got to it's got to not undermine her ending from series 4.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. Part of me thinks she may die, like for real, because apart from anything else, remember Dalek Khan's prophecy that one will die. I mean, maybe he was predicting all this way ahead. That would be, yeah, pretty sad. Um,
Yeah.
but then I feel like maybe that would be too obvious now because the trailers have been hinting towards that with the Doctor saying, "I don't know if I can save you this time." So maybe that's too obvious.
Yeah. Do you think they would kill someone off, even though it's a 60th?
Who knows? I wouldn't put it
Yeah.
past him.
Yeah.
Russell loves a death, like in his own work outside of Doctor Who, he loves a death.
Yeah. I mean, I think there'd be a massive uproar though if Donna did die in the 60th.
Yes, yes,
Um, I think he knows that.
yeah.
But I don't. Who knows?
Or maybe they'll flip it the other way and she'll actually have a happy ending in some way
That would be nice.
because
Maybe.
she's moved on now. She doesn't need the Doctor.
Hmm.
She can have her memories back, um, but she's got a family. She's happy where she is now.
maybe a family member dies, um,
Oh,
maybe like Sylvia or someone,
yeah,
um,
oh dear.
and then that's where she gets really angry, and maybe all that energy, like that half human, half Time Lord, comes back into play, and maybe Metcalfe's Doctor involved somehow. But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? We could be sitting here all day and just saying what we think will happen, what we want to happen, but
Yeah,
um, like we just don't want to get ahead of ourselves and say something and then it's wrong, and
yeah.
we're in regret when watching the 60th and everything. But
Mm,
yeah, who knows? Like, well, we won't know as we watch them, will we?
no,
No,
we're so close now. Let's
but
just, yeah, just
yeah,
hold out.
just hold out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But Stephen, thank you for coming on.
No, pleasure.
Uh,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. To anyone watching, listening, we hope you've enjoyed it. If the 60th has already started by the time this goes out, we hope you've enjoyed the first episode, or
Mm,
the second. But if not, you've got lots to look forward to.
yes.
Um, but yeah, thank you again, Stephen. And I hope you have a nice rest of your day.
You
And
too. Thank you very
thank you,
much.
thank you.